Hello!
Oh, I guess the know-it-all didn't know how to do it. Always judging me how to do it. By the way, what I love is that I put red eyeshadow around my eyes in this lighting because it really brings out the sunken.
We're completely not prepared for this show because we've spent the last 20 minutes trying to figure out the lighting.
And by the way, it's only gotten worse and worse. So I don't know what to do here.
You're just going to recede into the background.
I've never been older, haggier. My point is, okay, so I'm Seth. This is James. The show is called Stars in the House.
Yes, it is.
Every single day at 2 p.m. and 8 p.m. Eastern. That's right. And we are doing a special show tonight with our friend Jason Danieley, which we will discuss in just a moment. Because normally, by the way, we raise money for the Actors Fund.
Which, after 7 weeks, we have passed the $275,000 mark.
Wowza.
Raised for the Actors Fund.
And you know, the Actors Fund is for everyone. So it's for actors, singers, dancers, people on stage, everybody backstage, all the crew, the IATSE members, wardrobe. Anybody can get help from the Actors Fund. And then anybody in TV and film, anyone who works in the arts, wedding singers, ballet teachers in the Midwest, anyone across the country can get help. You go to actorsfund.org. The actorsfund.org is also working with Jason Danieley on what we're talking about tonight. And they had a big award that was given to Marin and Jason. So basically, should we bring Jason on first? Or do we have to do anything else?
Well, we can, the business we can do because it is for the cancer support community is what tonight's show is. And so for tonight, the donations will be a little bit different. As you can see, we have a donate button on starsinthehouse.com.
Yeah, to me,
but that's only on there for while we're live. And a lot of people watch this stuff when we're no longer live.
Yeah, so as soon as this is over, we're not live anymore, you need to donate at the cancer support community.org/starsinthehouse. That's where we want you to donate.
That's right.
But while it's live, which is right now, just go to starsinthehouse.com like you always do.
That's right now if you're watching it at 8 p.m. Eastern.
But I can't even look at myself. It's so horrific looking. I'm not saying I'm a model, but
I was smart because I got the lamp from beside our bed.
And put it on his side.
That's right.
You know what? Anyway, the point is, once you donate to starsinthehouse.com, you're going to get a receipt. Forward that receipt to starsinthehouse2020@gmail, and then we're going to get a list of people. My friend Paul Castry from Rockford, like Marin, is going to send us a list of some of the names. As soon as you donate, you get the receipt, forward it, starsinthehouse2020@gmail.com. So let's bring on Jason.
Yes, and he can explain, I think, better than us.
Today's World Ovarian Cancer Day, by the way, and that's right, especially we're bringing on Jason. By the way, never seen anyone handsomer or with better lighting. Hi, Jason. I'm furious. You look amazing.
You don't look bad, Seth. Come on. We're our own harshest critic.
No, dear. I've never seen I literally match my shirt. I'm out. So first I want to say, Jason, by the way, has made so many appearances so far. I love it. He was just on our Full Monty reunion show, which was so much fun.
It was.
Matt Stern is still waiting to get on. He's for those of you who don't know Jason's brilliance, I thought I would just show you what the voice is like. Jason, my ex-boyfriend, sorry, James, but Aaron, you were Aaron's absolute favorite tenor because Aaron was my boyfriend when we were doing Funny Girl, and he was obsessed with you. You ever hit that B flat in the Bride number, and you literally just like shrug? Were you ever like, oh, I better warm up? You always just seemed like B flat.
Well, I warm up, but I have a lot of high notes. That's where that's the money notes right up there. So yeah, I have the high C, the high B flat, whatever they need. As long as they pay me, it'll be there.
Well, by the way, they didn't pay you. It was a fundraiser for the Actors Fund. But you sounded amazing. I'm going to play.
Well, we helped the Actors Fund, so
yes,
there was a payoff.
I don't know if you've seen how amazing you are, but here you are hitting a B flat with absolutely no effort. I'm obsessed with this video. Here we go.
That was a long time ago, wasn't it? Oh my God, so much fun. Kristen and I did Strike Up the Band together at good speed some years before that. So it was so much fun to be able to do that sort of iconic Ziegfeld tenor thing. And there's no other part for me in that musical. So thank you for letting me be a part of it and do that.
Oh my God, your voice is stunning. Okay, so tonight we're here for the cancer support community. Should we first ask why he chose it? We're trying to decide. We have so many questions we want to ask. Should we tell Maren?
What do you think, Jason? Should we talk a little bit before showing the first clip?
Or want to show Maren's story, but do you want to talk first? What do you want to do?
You know what? We'll show the clip and then we'll talk about it, because I think she sets up kind of in a very overall way what we're going to talk about.
Okay, great. I think this is it. Let me make sure. No, it's this.
That one.
I do love that song. So as some of you here know, a little over 2 years ago, May 6th, 2015 to be exact, I was diagnosed with stage 4 ovarian cancer that had spread to my bowel. I spent that afternoon at Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center meeting my amazing surgeon, Dr. Nadim Abu-Rustum, who was here last night and got about a 5-minute ovation. It was amazing, and he had an HT, so it was amazing. It was beyond. I can't even.
He tried one for you too. He said you could have one.
Yes, he told me I could have one, and I did, and they're so good. But I spent the afternoon with him, and he explained what sort of the next number of months of my life would be like. And then I walked to City Center because I was opening that night in the Encore's production of Kander and Ebb's Zorba. And I started the show, and I stepped out on stage, and I sang the great Fred Ebb lyrics, "Life is what you do while you're waiting to die." And I thought, wow, John and Fred are scoring my life right now. I went through 12 weeks of chemotherapy, which I call healing therapy, hence the HT. I had major surgery. I did 12 more weeks of HT. In January of 16, we found out that I was in remission, and then I was offered to play Anna in King and I, and that all was amazing and fantastic. And then as King and I closed at the end of last June, we found out that my cancer had come back. And it took a while to find the next HT that worked for me. So the last 6 months of 2016 were, in a word, rough. But we found that HT, and I am on it now twice a month, and I feel so blessed and so grateful to be here tonight to celebrate 20 years with my amazing husband. Being here is the best HT I could ever have. So Jason writes a blog, and last year when my cancer came back, he titled his blog, "And the World Goes Round." And it's a Kander and Ebb song that I sung a number of times, and I looked at that and I started thinking about the lyric, and I thought, wow, I need to revisit this song because now it takes on a whole new meaning. So once again, John and Fred are scoring my life. Sometimes you're happy, sometimes you're sad, but the world goes round. Sometimes you lose every nickel you had, but the world goes around. Sometimes your dreams get broken in pieces, but that doesn't alter a thing. Take it from me, there's still gonna be a summer, a winter, a fall, and a spring. And sometimes a friend starts treating you bad, but the world goes around. And sometimes your heart breaks with a deafening sound. Somebody loses somebody wins. Then one day it's kicks. Then it's kicks in the shins. But the planet spins and the world goes around. Oh, the world goes around. The world goes around. Sometimes your dreams get broken in pieces, but that doesn't matter at all. Take it from me, there's still gonna be a summer, a winter, a spring, and a fall. And sometimes a friend starts treating you bad, but the world goes around. And sometimes your heart breaks with a deafening sound. Somebody loses, somebody wins. One day it's kicks, then it's kicks in the shins, but the planet spins and the world goes around and round and round and round and round. The world goes around and round and round.
Ooh, that's so great.
What
So
a way to start a show.
I know. It's beautiful.
No, but it's important. That's why I'm very grateful that you are having me on today. One, to support cancer support community, but sort of the precipitating factor of it all was that this video exists. There's an album called Broadway and Beyond, which is the show that we were doing at Feinstein's 54 Below, and we had a Kickstarter program, and we raised the money in 24 hours for the CD, and then we added another goal the very next day for a companion DVD, which this is of, and we've just been like circling the whole music licensing world. It just takes forever to get music licensing organized, and all of my Kickstarter friends out there, thank you so much, and I'm sorry for the delay, but the DVD's coming soon as we can work that out. But we shared songs from our 20 years being married and 20 years singing, whether it was originating shows on Broadway, doing revivals on Broadway and concerts, or on PBS. And then we've been developing it for a while, but the whole time when Miriam had cancer. And this song, it just was the perfect opportunity to share her story, and also to show, like you said, John and Fred were constantly, scoring her life and our journey. So anyway, the DVD is coming out soon, and hopefully we'll be streaming it so that everyone has a little more content to stream at home while we're under quarantine. But she talks about a few points in there. One, most importantly, today is World Ovarian Cancer Day, and it is the #1 killer gynecological cancer. It is known as the silent killer, the silent cancer, because there is no early detection test. So when you find out that you have it, you're almost always stage 3 or stage 4. And the symptoms are things that women deal with all the time: bloating, frequent urination, feeling of constipation, abdominal pain. I mean, these are things that women deal with all the time. So how would they know? So you can get lucky in that it's diagnosed early, but unfortunately, it's not always the case. So, being World Ovarian Cancer Day, we're raising money for cancer support community, but I also advocate for another organization called Tina's Wish.
Tina's Wish.
Yeah, and their whole mission is for research to find an early detection test, also a cure, but it's more important to find it earlier because then we can use the chemotherapies. That there are a multitude of chemotherapies. So if you have ovarian cancer, it is not a death sentence.
No, it's
there
not.
are a myriad of cancer chemotherapies, but Maren didn't like to use the vocabulary. Chemotherapy has sort of like a very ominous connotation with it. You feel that it's sometimes worse than the cancer. And she refused to believe that. She called it healing therapy, and she blessed it. Every time she went to Memorial Sloan Kettering and they tapped her port to have the chemo going, she called it healing therapy, and she blessed it. So that was just an illustration of how her positive mental mindset was what she and I both were holding on to. So she called it HT, and we named a specialty cocktail at 54 Below an HT, which had tequila and made you feel real good. So that's what that reference was about.
Jason, how did cancer support community come into your lives?
So when Maren was diagnosed, she's not a quitter. She wanted to go out and work and perform, and she also considered what we do, singing and performing at the Carnegie Hall or at Feinstein's 54 Below, part of her healing therapy. So she knew she was going to go out in public, and she was going to have short hair or be bald or have lost a lot of weight. So we wanted to control the vocabulary, and so instead of just kind of a press release, I was writing a blog about our journey, our collective journey. And in 2016, Cancer Support Community had an award called the Founders Award for Empowerment. And it goes to people in show business, people who are in the media, it's sports, that have a platform where they can get their voice out there and heard. And Kim Thibodeau, the then CEO of CSC, reached out and said, we'd like to give you both this award for your bringing awareness to ovarian cancer, but also this idea of hope and positive attitude to live your best life, even though you're going through one of the toughest times. So they brought us in, and we thought it was a great organization because there are a lot of organizations like Tina's Wish that are doing research and incredible work, not just ovarian cancer, all kinds of cancer. There's incredible work. We need to cure cancer, but they're doing what they can with what they have at this moment in time. But there are a lot of those organizations, but CSC specifically, they are a support group. They're there for you in whatever cancer you're going through, prostate, colon, anal cancer. I mean, there are cancers I've never even heard of, and they will be there from the day you are diagnosed and will walk you through it, and you can communicate with them on their hotline, which is open now during COVID-19 7 days a week, which is extraordinary. But they're helping not only the cancer patients, but the caregivers, because you don't know what it's like to go through that unless you've gone through it. And there's a lot of love that you're putting out and a lot of care you're putting out. And, not to sound selfish or anything, it's just a fact. The caregiver is not necessarily being taken care of themselves. They are there, and they have support groups, support counselors to help them during that, and the entire family. So we thought that was extraordinary, because if you haven't gone through cancer with a friend or a partner or a parent, you don't know what to expect. I know so much about cancer now that I didn't know then, and they're there as a resource to help you through that. So that was how we got involved with them initially.
I want to say two things. So first of all, you can donate to help cancer support community right now. If you're watching live, starsinthehouse.com, you'll see a button. If this is after the live performance, you'll see the link right there. And then as soon as you get the receipt, I'm getting the receipts already, keep forwarding them to starsinthehouse2020 Gmail, and then we're going to read them out loud. I also want to say the other thing about Tina's Wish. When Jason was saying early detection, it didn't really register what he meant to me until he told me it's like a colonoscopy. It's like we're able to get colonoscopies now and find out so early, like the earliest stage of colon cancer, and there's nothing like that yet for ovarian cancer. So that totally makes sense why you guys are fighting for that.
Yeah, it's or mammograms. You can feel even for men who have breast cancer, you can feel for a lump, right? There are certain signs that with that ovarian cancer, it's completely undetected, and it's been on my mind a lot because there is no way to know if you have a COVID-19, this mystery that everyone's walking around. Do I have it? Right. Of course, it's a virus, so am I a carrier? Right. In cancers, and this is one of the things that kind of not angers me, I guess it's lighting a fire under me to advocate more and more, is that women are half the population of the planet, and they deal with this fear all the time. Granted, it's not on their mind all the time, but if it does come up, they don't know how to check for it. And we need to put more funding. I know everyone needs money. Everyone needs money today, but it has been around for a long time. It took Gilda Radner's life. It took Laurie Beachman's life. It took Ann Crum. A lot of, to go along with the female performers that we all know and love. It's all of a sudden, it's there. Why is it taking this long? It's been around a very long time. So, and that's another thing that in 2016, Maren and I went with CSC to Washington, D.C.
Wow.
And spoke to, she gave a speech at the second Ovarian Cancer Summit with Ovarian Cancer Research Alliance and spoke and told her story. There we are in front of the Capitol when it was a nicer place.
Yeah. It literally looks like a green screen. It's so beautiful.
That's right.
And Jason, just for fun, I'm going to counteract that with a photo of you, Maren, and my mom at a busted mall in South America. So
your mom, she just had a birthday too.
My mom just had her birthday, but that cruise. The three of us were just wandering around a depressing mall. There was nothing to do.
We were mall hopping. We were like strolling the mall. I don't even know where that was.
That was Brazil.
Montevideo?
Where?
Montevideo? You
know what? The boat stopped and I got off. In conclusion, my mom is short. I'm going to cleanse the palate before we bring on some people from CSC. I'm going to I have a really fun clip of the first time I ever conducted Maren for the Actors Fund, another Actors Fund for the Christopher Reeve benefit. In
right.
Another Kander and Ebb song. And this is the first time I ever got to conduct her. Here she is.
Next door, you girls who live in apartments, don't stare at the wall. Open up the door and hurry out in the hall and ring them bells. Come on, ring them bells. You gotta make them sing and really ring them bells. It's such a happy thing to hear them ting-a-ling. You gotta swing them.
Just sang that song, and I always loved it. It just always brought just a smile to my face. I haven't seen that dress. I think that's the only time she wore that dress. I need to get that. I need to have a copy. I don't know what that was. It looks kind of like leather or pleather or something.
Right? Yeah, but shimmery.
Makes those bells shine.
Work. Okay, we're going to bring on some CSC people. Yes.
Here you go.
First,
Seth.
we have, I want to make sure. So first, we have the president of the cancer support community.
Right.
This is the lovely Linda Bohannon. Hi, Linda.
Hi, how are you guys? Thanks for having us.
Sure.
No problem.
Hi,
And
Linda.
then we have our Senior Director of Clinical Services, the lovely Eukarya Borden.
Hello.
Hi,
Eukarya.
Eukarya.
Hi. Thank you for having me.
Talk about the colors you guys are wearing, the beautiful teal.
Sure. So this is teal. It is the awareness color for ovarian cancer. And given that this is World Ovarian Cancer Day, we thought it would be appropriate to wear teal. And plus, every time I know when I wear it, I always think of Marin. So it's a special opportunity.
Well, look at what James and I happen to be wearing.
Yay!
Yeah,
Nice job.
Nice.
Those are the bands that CSC had made for people who donated last St. Patrick's Day when Brian Darcy James and I ran the New York City Half Marathon.
Oh, yeah. I want to talk about that for 1 second.
We got the picture
You
here.
ran the half marathon to support CSC.
There it is, Seth.
That's right.
And then did you actually finish it?
Yes. That's the idea.
And as part of running the half marathon, you're not allowed to shave. You have to look like a crazy Grizzly Adams. What's his problem?
Well, Brian Darcy James was actually that afternoon. We both had matinees. I was going to Pretty Woman, and he was doing that the Irish play, and I can't remember what it's called. The big one with the big Irish family.
Lieutenant of Inishmore.
No.
The bearded hermit. Regardless. That was a crazy look. But congratulations.
Thank you.
Put down questions we want for you. Well, first of all, to keep it timely, Linda, how is coronavirus? I mean, everyone's so scared walking around they're going to get infected. I mean, and actually, talking to Mandy Gonzalez. Mandy Gonzalez is recovering from breast cancer. She said people keep saying people with underlying conditions are susceptible, like, therefore it doesn't really matter. Mandy's like, wait, but I don't want to get COVID. Like, so anyway, how has it affected the cancer community, COVID?
Well, so you imagine how afraid we all are, and we feel like we are fairly healthy. People who are either receiving cancer therapy or have received cancer therapy in the past have typically weakened immune systems. So where you or I may be exposed and able to fight off the virus, people who have had cancer may not be able to. So we've asked our constituents and our members, what are they really concerned about? And, number one, catching the virus, but they're also very concerned about just having access to basic essentials. And so we're talking about people who are afraid that they won't be able to have food in the house. They're not going to be able to get to their therapies. There's one woman in particular who has metastatic breast cancer, and her caregivers are in Canada. So one of the phone calls that we received to our helpline early on in this crisis was, how do I get caregivers into my house? Because my people are across the border and we just shut it down.
Wow.
So I feel like, Jason, you told me that now CSC is offering transportation to appointments. Is that true? Because I announced it on my radio show. Is that actually true?
They have a variety of services that they offer normally. They have, and I'll let either one of you speak about this exactly, but they have a partnership with Airbnb. So if you are going to be several hours from your home and you have a long treatment and you can't drive there and drive back, they will set you up through Airbnb to stay there. And I also believe that they help with child care if you need to go to treatments. But I'll let you all speak about that specifically.
Sure. Eukarya, you want to take that one?
Yeah, so we actually help with a variety of things because, cancer and COVID both touch so many parts of a person's life. We actually have a helpline, and Jason, thank you for already mentioning the fact that we've expanded our hours to be open 7 days a week. But I mean, it could be anything. It could be a parent who is looking for someone to help with childcare resources, or where do you find access to food at a time like this? There's a lot of questions about finances. We have a financial navigator available. You might have questions about genetics. I mean, literally anything that you have a question about. We have our helpline available with counselors. We can do that in over 200 languages. So we definitely encourage people to call. It's Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern, and Saturday and Sunday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern.
Amazing.
And they work with CSE, also partners with, I mentioned Gilda Radner, and there's Gilda's Club, which I know James you have some experience with your mother going through ovarian cancer as well. Your family went to Gilda's Club.
Yeah, my mom was diagnosed with stage 3 ovarian and stage 4 uterine cancer 12 years ago, 11 years ago. And Julie and I, Seth and I had only been together a year at that point, I think. And Julie and I went there every Thursday for their support services.
For kids and for adults.
For kids, yeah. Julie was in one support group, and I was in the one with the adults. And it was, it was something. It was like you were talking about earlier, Jason. It was something I couldn't, as supportive as Seth was. It was something he hadn't really experienced, closely in your family, and so it was something I could speak of more freely with people in the support group. So it was definitely life-changing in those people that I met there, and getting their support and speaking a common language. Absolutely.
Yeah. Supports Gilda's Club, right? It's kind of an umbrella organization, and Gilda's one of them.
Yeah, CSC is the umbrella organization. We actually have 175 locations across the United States. We do have 4 international locations. We have 175 places around the United States. I always call it humans walking through doors, where we actually have face-to-face type programming. And then our other service delivery arms, the helpline, as Eukaria mentioned, and I should say that the helpline calls are up 65% over what they were last year this time because of the COVID crisis.
Right.
And then we also have this amazing online community that I really would like for your listeners to learn about in case they could benefit from it. It's called My Lifeline. And it really is a lifeline to so many. And it allows you to set up your personal page and be able to communicate with the people that you assign that you want to communicate with. So you don't have to tell your story over and over again, and you can keep them updated in real time. But there are also discussion boards there. So if you want to talk to somebody, who has the same type of cancer as you, or they're interested in the same subject as you, finances or diet and nutrition, you can actually talk with one another on these bulletin boards. And it's just a 24/7 community. And we give away, just through that broad network, about $50 million in free care and support every year. And we're very proud of that. And we couldn't do it without the support of Jason and so many others. So I have to just pause for a moment and say thank you, Jason. The Broadway community has been amazing. Barbara Bradley Beckard, Jeremy and Bob Hall. I mean, I can't even mention everybody who's just been beyond generous to us. And we're so thankful.
And I mentioned, that everyone needs money. And again, thank you for having us here and allowing us to be able to use this platform to raise money, because we would have had, or CSC would have had, their gala in April, which is at Chelsea Pier, and it's incredible. And we have silent auctions with incredible packages. Everyone bids on these. Last year, I think he made about $700,000 just in the evening. We were hoping to make, $1 million. Why not push it up? But that just is gone. Right. So platforms like this, we're hoping to, I keep saying, because like I'm part of the organization, at least trying to speak in this way. So pardon me if I'm being presumptuous. We need people to donate to fill those gaps, because one of the first things I said when this was happening out in Florida working on a new show, I was like, I would give anything for her to be here. Anything. I'm so glad that she's not here to go through this. Go from West 97th Street to 53rd Street to Memorial Sloan Kettering is a huge undertaking when you are tired, exhausted, going through, you've been taking steroids so you can chemo, getting on the subway. Nightmare would that be in my mind? And I just want CSC figure, wherever you are in any of these states, even Navajo Nation, it's where they have a new clinic in the Navajo Nation, so people cannot leave the reservation they can, but it's very difficult for them to stop work, leave their kids for a 4-hour drive to have. So that's another incredible thing that they're offering.
Speaking of the anxiety, what do what are you seeing, and what can people do? It's like Jason was saying, even in the best of times, there's a lot of anxiety that goes with it, including with the caregivers. But what are you seeing? Like, what do you? I mean,
you carry any advice or what you do?
Oh, absolutely. And we absolutely have gotten calls from people who are feeling a lot more anxious, not just about, caring for someone with cancer or living with cancer, but kind of how that's layered in with what's happening with coronavirus on top of all of that, And so definitely our callers on my lifeline, we have people expressing their anxiety about that too. And I'm so happy that we can support people in that way. But when you think about what the anxiety is really about, there's definitely a universal truth, and that is that most people struggle with uncertainty. And whether you're talking about coronavirus and what comes next, I mean, let's face it, we don't know what's happening tomorrow, right? The same holds true for living with cancer or caring for someone with cancer. And so you have the full effect of both of those things. And so people's anxiety right now is just really, really heightened. And part of this is that so much of what happens to us in life is actually beyond our control, right? But we have convinced ourselves that we are in control of every outcome and every situation. So it's really normal and natural to feel distressed when that belief is challenged. And I think many of us are in that place right now. That could be something not even related to cancer or coronavirus. It could be a divorce. It could be anything in your family or your community. And so really thinking about what's in your control and what isn't in your control is a great place to start, because once we realize that really those things that are beyond our control, to try to control it just increases our anxiety more. Our time is better spent really focusing on those areas where we can affect some potential change.
Wow, I feel like I just got an amazing therapy session. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Anytime.
And if I may, that's part of. I'll be as brief as I can, but
that's going to send you donations. So go ahead, Jason.
Okay, great. The power of positive thinking that I was talking about Marin earlier. Her favorite flower was the sunflower.
Yes.
And it came to our attention. She loved sunflower her whole life, but after she was diagnosed, someone pointed out the fact that the sunflower always keeps its face toward the sun throughout the day. So it'll start at dawn facing east, and it'll follow the sun till it sets, and at night it comes back to wait for the sun to rise again. Mm-hmm. And that was kind of her philosophy, and I kind of named her positive thinking sunflower power after she had passed, because I was like, what do you call this? I don't want to sound like a new age guru and say the power of positive thinking, although I sound like a hippie calling it sunflower power. But but that's the essence of how we had to live our life, because it's so easy with cancer, with coronavirus, to go panic, close the box and around the worry, as opposed to living your best life. If you're healthy and you're not showing symptoms, obviously be careful and do all the right things. But still, if you can get out, if you can turn your face toward the sun, whatever it is, then do that. Oh, Ted Miller, Sunflower Land. Ted Miller's from Cancer Support Community. He's incredible.
And you did that big concert, the Sunflower Power concert.
There you go.
At the Sunflower Power, what was it called? Variety Hour? What did you call it?
Sunflower Power Hour.
I love that. Look at all these clowns. Oh, what a great thing.
Beautiful.
Great friends.
So, David, look at your David. I was looking at David. So, Fraser, look at your cell phone, and you got some good.
All right, so we have some fantastic donations. Miriam from Brooklyn, $25. $50 from Kathy in memory of the wonderful Marin Mazie. David from New York City, $25. Kevin from Virginia, $25. Amanda, $25. Sandy from North Carolina, $25. $25 from Judy. $50 from Andrea. David from Dallas, $50. Mary from California, $100. And $50 from Annie in memory of Maren. Thank you all so much for those incredible donations. And for
Thank
remembering
you.
Maren.
That is so lovely. All right, so we want to remind people, keep donating, starsinthehouse.com while this is live, only till 9 p.m. Eastern. And then as soon as this goes just online forever, you go to cancersupportcommunity.org/starsinthehouse. And if you do donate right now, forward your receipt so Jason in his mellifluous voice can read starsinthehouse2022.com. You're our next guest.
I guess.
So we're going to say goodbye to the two beautiful teal outfits, to Carrie and Linda. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you,
Take
guys.
good care. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Be well.
I'm gonna hold on. I thought I'd show another fun clip of Maren.
Oh.
This is another time that we performed together. This is she was a blonde in Ring Them Bells. This one she was a redhead. And what I wanted to contrast was in Ring Them Bells, she was belting her face off. Maren was one of those rare people that could actually belt up a storm and do full high soprano. So this is her soprano side, sounding amazing. Here we go. And I'm conducting in the background, and she's sassing it.
She closed her door, she stopped the war, she don't say yes, don't lift her dress. She saved the town, she don't lie down. She turned the tide with fiery parade. Vive la France! Vive France! Vive France! Veronica, Veronica, vive la
Those are those Actors Fund concerts that you did that, like Funny Girl, that were thrown up in 10 days?
Yes, and they're one night, and look how brilliant they are. Look how amazing she is. One night concert.
Yeah. I mean, Funny Girl, there were a bunch of women playing Fanny Bryce throughout the evening, so the workload was distributed. But she and Douglas Sills just went out there and chewed the scenery, and we so wanted that to go to Broadway, but so many people still talk about that performance today.
She was hilarious. She was beautiful. All right, speaking of hilarious and beautiful, and Maren, here's one of Maren's pals, one of your pals as well, the lovely Kelli O'Hara.
Hey!
Hi,
Kelli.
I'm here to surprise you.
Now, I have a surprise too.
Oh,
Oh,
Surprise. I already did them.
I'm sitting here. I love that James said, oh, what a therapy session. I'm sitting here with a lot of feelings, guys. Thank you for continuing to do this, James and Seth, for many, many different reasons. But I think this is really tops the reasons to do this show. I hope that a lot of donations come in tonight. The work that Jason's been doing tirelessly for over a year now, and before, but especially since we lost Maren, it's just, Jason, your effort and your passion for this is just remarkable. And I hope that you guys raise a lot of money tonight, and I hope that continues.
thank
Oh,
you.
that's it, man. Kelli, talk for a second about Maren, because you came to New York after Maren started to hit it big. So was she one of your, people that you looked up to?
Well, I don't know how many, Jason's probably heard this 1,003 times. So I hate to bore you, but I moved here on September 3rd, 1998, and on September 5th, let's just say, I watched Ragtime for the first time. And then I watched it again on like the 7th, and maybe the 12th of September, and then maybe the 18th of September. And then I think I watched it. I had a friend who was working in the management office, and it would be like a last minute call. We have extra seats, come see it. I would see it for free. I literally had just moved there without a contact in the world. And it really changed my whole thought process. I thought that I was lost. And then I saw it because I saw Maren. And was one of those lucky girls to see representation for myself in her. I saw I can be her. I want to be that. I want to be something like that. And of course, Audra too, the two of them, the way they sang. And it really changed my life. It made me feel confident about my move. I had come from an opera background and I didn't know if I was making the right choice because it was Rent and Frank Wildhorn days and everything. But then there was Ragtime and there was Marin Maisie. And I love the clip that you just showed of all her soprano, because it made me think, you just said she's a belter and a soprano. And it made me think of when I went to see Jason and Marin in Next to Normal. And I was like, oh, wait, I can't do that. I'll never do that.
Kelli, you know what I just realized? You and I must have moved to New York around the same time, because I moved to New York in July of '98, and I went and saw Ragtime in August. And do you know, in the 20 some odd years I lived in New York, I've only gotten one autograph from a Broadway star, and that was Marin.
Oh.
And she had in my program, "Hi, James, welcome to New York."
Oh, I wish I had an autograph. You know, actually, because of Jason, really, years later, it was because of Jason that I had the honor of calling her more like a friend, because Jason and I started working together a little bit with concerts and things. And I probably made such a fool. I was like, Jason, is your wife coming? Because if your wife is coming, can I be with her? Can I be? And we had some nice nights. And I remember Boston, we had some nice nights, or a nice, some nice wine shared, and began to try not to be too much of a fool around her and become a friend. And then the rest is history, because it's just one bit of inspiration after another. And it continues more than I ever expected and hoped for. And so, yeah, every single day becomes more of an influence of Marin on my life.
And not to be a mutual admiration society, but if she were here, she would say the same thing about you, that she adored Kelli, and because she's an extraordinary human being, caring, giving, full of love for her family and everything, but then she's wildly talented. So there was absolutely nothing that Marin could not like about her. And I remember one of our last, I guess you guys came to see us at Feinstein's, or maybe Marin's show, I can't remember, and the four of us, and the three of us and Greg went out to eat at Talia and just had a wonderful time. So you are indeed a friend, a dear friend, and Kelli's been very gracious in saying she would help by singing at galas and anything that we can, and wrangle her into to sell tickets and raise money.
This last gala that you had, or that was supposed to be in April, I was supposed to do it with you and with Brian Darcy James. And then I called and said, I don't know if I can, because I'm going to do the Ragtime concert. I was stressed. I was like, how do I just, that was the same week, but I was going to maybe show up and do a little something with Brian. And, but I really kind of think about the connection so much, Jason, with you having worked with Jim, and during a time when as far as talking about the cancer support community, when he was losing Pam, my mother-in-law, and you guys had long conversations about that, and he would come home and talk to me about your conversations that you were having with him, and just going through those things together, all that, just having little reasons to reach out and touch each other. And I've always said I want to get back into some singing with you. It's just one of my, ever since I saw you in Full Monty, and not because of the Full Monty part, but the that tenor that took us all away.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that was like nothing I'd ever heard.
Just close up there, Jason. The people that are watching, there are a lot of caregivers watching. And, I would read your blogs and just could not believe what you were dealing with, because, it's sort of like you're not allowed to be fearful and be sad. Like, what is your advice for the people out there that are caregivers to people that are going through cancer?
I wish I had like a pat answer about that, because I would bottle it and I would stand on the street corner and just hand it out, because you're awash in so much. And now, like the caregiving, you're grieving. I mean, potentially your loved one will come through it. and then you will not be grieving. But when the diagnosis, was 5 years ago, just 2 days ago on the 6th, 5 years ago, we were sitting in Memorial Sloan Kettering, and when she got word, we just went, we were ripped in half, both of us for different reasons and for the same reason. I was lucky because she would carry me whenever I needed to be carried, and I would carry her whenever she needed it. We were like that as performers and as husband and wife, but then we were great partners through this as well. That's luck of the draw. I was lucky in every aspect with her. So, I think it's being honest is the most important thing. Being honest with yourself and being honest with your loved one who's going through it. Marin's celebration of life memorial in my eulogy, in like it was the day before she passed. She looked at me and said, "I'm afraid." And she had never said that. She had felt afraid, and I could sense it. But then we, massage our emotions and figure out what the next thing was we're going to do. We're just the next thing. You have to just take it one at a time. The next treatment, okay, that treatment didn't work. Let's do the next one, and looking toward the positive. But she said that I'm scared, and I said, I am too. And I think it's very important, to be honest. But then she said, it's not about you. This is not about you. I'm like, that's right. And, she needed, that was her truth. She needed to say, I hear you. Now shut up and turn around, focus on what's going on. But I think being honest and just loving. And any friend, Kelli would text me now and again, and if I could eke out an emoji, I was receiving it, even if I didn't reply. Mm-hmm. Just acknowledging the love that's coming toward you because people want to give it, and if you can receive it, it helps.
So
blocking is no good.
So for people, like let's say on the outside that are dealing with caregivers, it is important for us to reach out and not go, oh, leave them alone. They're dealing with a lot of stuff. People want to be reached out to, but just don't be offended if no one responds to you.
Yeah, I think, everyone's different, but I think it's important for a caregiver to know that people are thinking of them. And sometimes, people say they don't want to say the wrong thing.
Right.
Well, don't try to give advice. That's a good point. Just try not to give advice and just say, I love you. I'm thinking of you. I'm here for you if you need anything. That just like salves the heart and the spirit so much. If you say, I know what you're going through. My dog died last year. You're like, okay, you need to not text me anymore. I know what you're going through because of X and Y, and as well-meaning as it can be, and as perfectly formed love, a text or email or phone call, it can always be misconstrued. You're grieving, you're going through such a hard time. Sometimes you just don't hear it in the right way. Right. I have regrets for, feeling a certain way. I never said, oh, Jesus Christ, what are you thinking? Why did you say that to me? I'm such a good Midwesterner. I just push it down, But then I'm like, why did they say that? And I feel guilty about that. But that's where I was, And all my friends know that that their love is received in kind. Yeah.
I've showed the belting of Marin, I've showed the high soprano, but we haven't shown the comedy. So this is a clip, Jason, that you wanted me to show. One of the funniest Marin Mazzie stories ever.
Oh, it's a classic.
Here you go, Jason. You asked for it.
Absolute favorite Marin Mazzie story. So this involves passion.
Oh, and just by the way, please ignore my hairstyle. Sorry.
Absolute favorite Marin Mazzie story. So this involves passion, where Marin work had it going on. Go.
Okay, so this particular night of passion. So I was naked, opening scene, completely naked, nothing on my body.
The show opens.
Not like a dance belt, like literally nude.
Literally nude, except for the wig and the microphone in my head. And Jerry Shea, who played Giorgio, was having some back issues. Now, he did wear a little bit of a G-string. Not, I shouldn't say little, a very large G-string. He was having some back issues, and that particular night, he put some sort of liniment on his back somewhere. And
Ben Gay, if you will.
Ben Gay. And I don't know if he just didn't wash his hands or something, and because when he put his G-string on, it somehow got on the G-string. So then there I am sitting right on him, having the big orgasm at the top of the show, and you know, we're sitting there. And we also would sort of prep a little bit before the show, so I'd sit on him a little bit before the curtain opened. Okay.
Well, being a fluffer.
We won't,
Keep going.
Yeah. So anyway, so you know, big cord, all that, come off, and we're, you know, I'm so happy, I'm afraid I'll die here in your arms. And I start to feel some warmth from a certain part of my body. And I'm like, oh my God, oh. If I die right here,
Did you hear the lyric?
Yeah.
It's a Sondheim show.
Sondheim show.
Backstage.
So I come off for after that number to completely get dressed, like everything. And I'm in the thing, Alice Gilbert, our wardrobe supervisor, Bobby Sue, my dresser, and I'm like,
What are you talking about?
I'm like, Jerry has something on his G-string or something. And they're like scrambling, they're trying to dress me, and Alice is trying to get some sort of cloth or something to like make
Ice
it
Cube?
go away. Ice Cube, I don't know what.
Oh God. If you know Maren, she would, you know, she had no qualms with being naked. During ragtime, you know, when you're up there wanting her autograph, she's downstairs. She took they had the bathroom in her dressing room, had the door taken off and put a curtain up like you adjust your dressing room. And David Loud would come in, the music director, conductor, to give notes. And he'd be all, Maren, it's David, come on in. And she'd just be sitting there completely buck naked, peeing. Hey. and he would give her notes. She'd go, okay, thank you. Like, you know.
She's hilarious and at peace. Hey, Kelly O'Hara, I just texted you. By the way, are you in a saloon? I love that.
Where are you now?
It looks like a cool, like dark.
Yeah.
This is just my, you know what? This is where I've been doing my thing, my virtual. This is just my office, but it's one wall of it with the. I got my little, you know, drink session, and then I've got some pictures, like my voice teacher. It's backwards, so I can't get it right. But yeah, no, I'm not in a saloon. But thanks.
So I just texted you names.
Yeah, check your phone for some donations if you can read some.
Oh, I didn't know. I didn't bring my phone in because I was trying to be responsible.
Oh, okay, then I'll text you.
You got it?
Your responsibility backfired. Hold on, Jason.
I can definitely call a little tiny person to bring me my phone. Owen, bring me my phone.
Are they gonna bring it? One of the tiny people is
Probably use for it, and I might be able to. This is what they're good for, right?
usually Greg is your stage manager.
Hey, bring me my phone. Okay.
Okay, so
That's wiping your butt when you're 95.
Well, hey, listen, I'm grooming him for a lot of things.
Jason, I'll send you a different list that Kelly has. So this is the list for Jason.
So he'll read the second or the one?
Jason,
So
Jason can read it. Yeah.
Okay. All right, we have $25 from Phil, $60 from Edward in memory of Maren, $25 from Maggie, $100 from Ted, Lamont and Tim from California, $100. Lamont went to college at Western Michigan State with Maren. $25 from Taylor, $50 from Ronnie, $36 from Samara in memory of Maren, $25 from Jessica, $50 from George, $50 from Sheridan, Blair from Palm Springs, $100, and $100 from my brother Floyd Collins, Chris Invar.
Oh.
We just, this whole COVID is, no one can go anywhere, so you can say, hey, let's have a Zoom party, catch people. I had a full Monty, but just a couple nights ago, I had a Floyd Collins reunion, which was one of the most extraordinary shows for all of us involved as we were discussing it, singing a beautiful Adam Gettle score and Tina Landau's extraordinary book and direction. I mean, it started so many of our careers, and you go, okay, where do you go from that? I've been blessed. Thanks, brother Chris.
And I, by the way, was the audition pianist for that show, by the way.
For Floyd Collins?
Yeah.
Really?
Not every day, but Ted hired me. I was definitely there at the Floyd Collins auditions. Yeah. It was at Playwrights Horizons, right?
Playwrights Horizons, yeah.
There. How dare you not remember? Rude. Kelli, I asked you to bless us with a little song. This is like a lullaby. Am I correct?
Yeah, it's not anything, we talked about maybe what would be correct. This is why I want to sing this little song. I just wrote this little lullaby for my daughter, Charlotte, and I'll tell you why. And this just is just so all with Pam and my mother-in-law and Marin and everything. So, and Jason. So Jason and I, we first worked together with Tina Landau out on a thing called, what was that?
Beauty.
Beauty, in San Diego, in La Jolla. And then we did a tour and a Boston Pop show of all Cole Porter. And there was this amazing Cole Porter lyric that I always loved that kind of went like this, paraphrasing, but be like the bluebird who is never blue, for she knows from her upbringing what singing can do. And I kind of loved that thought. And then when my mother-in-law got sick and passed away from pancreatic cancer, shortly after she died, my father-in-law is very involved with injured animal. Gosh, now I'm forgetting the word, but out here, near where we live, and they had a group of bluebirds that they released right after her passing, and so bluebirds became a big, as did sunflowers, Jason, oddly enough. At her memorial, there were a bunch of sunflowers brought by a family member who said, we haven't had sunflowers for years, but this year the sunflowers came out. So sunflowers became a theme for us with Pam, and then of course with Marin, and then bluebirds did too. And then long story short, my daughter, it was hard to have her. She didn't come for a long time. And then she came right just after Pam died. And there was a interesting interplay with spirits. And I won't go into the long story, but these two people are the same. My mother-in-law and my daughter, there's a real similarity with them.
Wow.
So I wrote a song based on the bluebird and the singing and the healing, and it was just a little lullaby for Charlotte. And so it seemed fitting for tonight for cancer support community. So here,
You go on.
okay, and now my computer, oh no, there it is. Okay. Here we go. It's called She Sings. They say the bluebird sings. She sings of happy things. I sing too, and it's for you. It was a Monday then, a special someday when I held you first and gave my heart to you. You took your time to come to me, but when you did, you flew. And like that bird up in the tree, I hope you're never blue. They say the bluebird sings. She sings of happy things. I sing too, and it's for you. Now I I can give you roots and wings, so fly courageously. And angels watching over you, she promised me she'd be. Just trust we're there, and everywhere you go, may you know that when you hear a bluebird sing, your mother sings as well. They say the bluebird sings, she sings of happy things. I sing too because of you. Oh, 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 oh.
So beautiful, Kelly. Oh, so beautiful.
Thanks.
Beautifully sung, but beautifully written too. Just.
Thank you. Yeah, I wanted to write a little song for her, but she is so intertwined with Pam, who is intertwined with sunflowers and bluebirds and my father-in-law and you and Marin and my history. And, you guys were talking so beautifully. Was it Eucharia? Eucharia. Thank you so much.
Yes.
She was saying, everybody's, this COVID-19, everybody's going through something. But you don't know what it is, and you don't, whatever she was saying, I was feeling it very much, and I can't quote it right now, but I do know that what Jason is promoting for this group too is that you're just not alone, and the caretakers like Jason and like my father-in-law and like any of us at any given moment. I mean, James, you're talking about your mother, and that more than we think, the people are going through it, and it's something that you can get a lot of support for. And I know that my friend Katie, who passed away in December, she got so much support out of Gilda's club. She came back to the city and really, really had a lot of support there. And it's just, you're not alone. And I hope that people know that and feel okay to reach out and take what you need during these times.
They're providing, CSC is really providing it. By the way, we got a sweet little donation. Linda, my name is Abby, and Linda Bohannon is my beautiful mother.
Oh,
I'm so proud of her and the work CSC does. Thank you so much for doing this fundraiser for them. So she just donated in honor of you.
Yay, Abby.
So we want to show a final clip. This is from the upcoming CD/DVD.
The CD is out.
CD's out. Sorry, upcoming DVD.
Which is on Broadway Records. So if you go to BroadwayRecords.org, you can order the CD, or you can order on Amazon or iTunes and all that stuff. The DVD is upcoming with a release date.
It's fine. The CD is already out and it's beautiful. So now, Kelly, get your phone while this clip is playing. She can read those damn donations. Okay. Here's a fabulous clip of Marin and Jason.
I'm gonna miss the
Don't
clip.
miss the clip.
Call one of those brats.
Yeah, tell one of those kids right now.
Owen, get my phone. Get my phone.
For?
Exactly.
The hell are you paying them for?
All right, wait till Kelly gets back. We'll wait for you, Kelly.
So if you want to do some final donations, starsnows.com.
That's right.
Or since you're hopefully watching this when it's no longer live, it's going to be up forever. CancerSupportCommunity.org/stars in the house.
That's right.
Thank you. Right. Hey, you read those at the end. We'll show the beautiful clip.
We'll watch the clip first.
There you go.
Okay.
So we thought it'd be appropriate to end with the beginning, the song that we danced to at our wedding. The more I read the papers, the less I comprehend. The world and all its capers, and how it all will end. Nothing seems to be lasting.
But that isn't our affair. We've got something permanent. I mean, in the way we care. It's very clear. Our love is here to stay, not for a year, but ever and a day.
The radio and the telephone and the movies that we know may just be passing fancies, and in time may go.
But oh my dear, our love is here to stay. Together we're going a long, long way.
In time the Rockies may crumble,
Gibraltar may tumble, they're only made of clay, but our love is here too. Our love is here too. Our love is here to stay.
Ah, that was fabulous.
Uh,
She's amazing. Jason, your placement's perfect in the last note. It's so easy. God. And by the way, special shout out to Joe Thalkin on piano. Gorgeous playing.
Yeah, that our trio. Joe Thalkin has been with us for many years. Pete Donovan on bass. He was the bass player in Floyd Collins. And then when we did our very first cabaret concert, David Loud, who was our music director, then so like, let's bring Pete Donovan. I'm like, of course. And Pete has played for everything that we've done. He's extraordinary. He's a great composer and arranger. And then Rich Rosenzweig on drums. We were putting together a new show that we were going to do at 54 Below in the spring of 2018, and Marin couldn't do it. But they were there, like always, at Machiko, having our rehearsal in the studio, and Marin couldn't stand, and we played through all the arrangements, and it was like literally the week before we were going to do it. But anyway, they're brothers, they're family, as are a lot of musicians, who don't get recognized from rehearsal pianists from 25 years ago, but they are family, and I do appreciate all of them.
Way to bring it back around, Jason. That was good. That was good.
That was really good.
I couldn't get your apology, but nonetheless, Kelly, good donations.
Yes, sir. Pete Donovan's my bass too, so easy over scheduling him. Okay. $25 from Phil. $60 from Edward in memory of Marin. $25 from Maggie. And $100 from Ted.
I think that's the list I read.
That's what I was going to accept. That's what I was saying about
All
that.
right, well, hold on. Paul Cash is confusing me because he keeps going, send this one. Send this one. Okay, so hold on. Phil, okay, here it is.
Oh, gosh.
So
Did you say Blair from Palm Springs?
He said Blair from Facts of Life.
Oh, wait.
The Facts of Life.
Here, I just sent a different list.
Okay, here we go. $100 from Jen and Kevin.
Fabulous.
$20 from Katie. $25 from Abby and Owen. $107 from John.
Very specific.
$250 from Martha. And $50 from Connie.
Thank you, everyone.
Yay, thank you all.
Forward to
Exactly.
There are a lot more.
That's right.
All right. So in conclusion, I'm trying to think of anything else. Let's just say goodbye to Linda and Eukarya, and we'll show the final credits.
Yeah.
So don't forget. So now the live show's over.
We're going to say goodbye.
You're going to donate. Eukarya, everyone therapy. Linda, your donors.
Bye, everybody.
Thanks so
Thank you so
much.
much.
Where do we donate?
Oh,
Answers.
cancersupportcommunity.org/stars in the house.
Okay, so let's play the final credits.
All right, we're going to. StreamYard has been so good to us. They just sent us a brand new computer.
Yeah.
So I'm carefully moving it over. Our lighting still stinks, but we're still moving up. That's not their
Hey,
fault.
Seth, James, can I say one more thing before we leave?
Of course, Jason.
Through the relationship that Marin and I have cultivated with CSC, they have continued communicating with Broadway Cares, Equity Fights AIDS, and the Actors Fund. So this resource is available. CSC, you can call them directly no matter what. But just know that if you are someone who goes to the Actors Fund and have cancer or any questions, they will be able to help facilitate you in the direction of this wonderful organization. So I'm grateful to Joe Benincasa at the Actors Fund and Tom Viola at Broadway Cares for helping us merge these families together.
I love it. All right, I'll play a little song in honor of Marin on the way out, if I can remember.
All right, here we go. Ready?
Let's see.
Okay.
I was kind of music in front of me. I remember the beginning. Was it da 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 The house on the hill in New Rochelle was Mother's domain. Oh my gosh, she was so brilliant in that. All right, thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.